The sleep paralysis demon came to me. Hi, my name is Amanda. I always found those ghostly things very ridiculous. I never believed in them and always made fun of those who did. One day I was at school. The teacher had assigned us all a task where we had to write on a piece of paper what our greatest fear was. A real fear. We had to stand up and read it in front of everyone. One person wrote about something called sleep paralysis, where basically a person would wake up in the middle of the night unable to move and start hallucinating, seeing terrible things that weren't actually there. And all of this would be the work of a demon named Dabbed Sog, who would sit on top of the victims, immobilizing their bodies. Some could see it and others couldn't. Honestly, I thought it was all a big joke. It made no sense at all. People just make up stories about being possessed or seeing some entity to get attention. None of that exists. My friends started commenting on it, and I said the following sentence. Seriously, do you guys really believe in this? A demon that sits on top of you and leaves you paralyzed and schizophrenic? Seriously? If this thing exists, I want to see it appear to me. I doubt it. They asked me to stop calling bad things into my life, but if it's all made up, how will it affect me? I left. After class, I went back home. My mom hadn't arrived yet, so I texted her asking why she was taking so long. She said she had stopped by the market to buy some things we needed at home and that she left a lasagna ready in the fridge for me to eat. I took a shower and put a plate of lasagna in the microwave to heat up while I did nothing much. That night was strange. My head hurt and I kept seeing shadows all around the house. It could have been tiredness or something since I almost always sleep poorly. The lasagna was ready. I grabbed my plate and went to my room to eat and play League of Legends. After 20 minutes, I heard noises coming from downstairs. I thought my mom had arrived, so I went there to talk to her about the headache. But when I got there was no one. Now, besides seeing shadows, I was also hearing things. I laughed at the situation and went back to playing. My mom texted me at 10 p.m. saying she was on her way. I went downstairs to wait for her, and now it was really my mom. We talked for a bit. She brought some medicine, so I took one for my headache before going to bed. It was the first time I was going to sleep so early. I turned off the lights, locked the door, and lay down. I put on a galaxy projector to sleep because somehow it makes me feel more relaxed, and I fell asleep. I woke up. It was still early morning. I could hear the sound of the trees swaying with the wind outside, and owl noises. I grabbed my phone, and it was 2 a.m. still. I lay down again and waited for sleep to come back. I was still seeing shadows, and my head still hurt. How come? I fell asleep again after a few minutes and woke up still in the middle of the night, but I didn't believe it. I was paralyzed. I couldn't move anything in my body, just my eyes. I felt an enormous weight on my chest. It hurt. I couldn't breathe for 2 minutes, and I forced myself to get up. Was this really happening? It must be just a dream. It's not possible. I never believed in this. Why would I believe it now? Okay, this part can have some explanation. Right away I researched it. This has more to do with our body and mind, and not about demons. So it's okay. But it was bizarre. I mocked the demon. Of course you would be a lie. You can't even do something scarier properly. I tried to relax and go back to sleep, but it happened again. What was happening? I don't know. I just know it was getting weirder and weirder. I could see a shadow moving in the gap under my room's door, and something I didn't notice. The projector was turned off. At no point did I turn it off, and my door was locked. How did this happen? I felt suffocated, still with that huge weight on top of me. I closed my eyes and tried to stay calm, but when I opened them again, I was in complete shock. There was something on top of me. It looked like the demon I had mocked so much. It was macabre, ugly. It terrified me. It stared at me fixedly without moving a muscle. I just wanted to get out of there, scream for my mom, but I couldn't say anything. It seemed that the more I tried, the harder it got. I closed my eyes again so I wouldn't keep looking at that horrible figure in front of me. I could feel tears running down my face. I tried to force myself to get up until I heard a voice whispering very close to my ear saying, "You called?" I tried to ignore everything that was happening and kept trying to get up until my mom started knocking on the door and I managed to move. The demon was no longer there. I got up and opened the door for my mom. She told me she had a bad feeling, and came to check if everything was okay with me, something I also didn't believe before. I told her everything. She said she had been through it before, which relieved me, and told me to never doubt anything or even make jokes about things like that. And from that day on, I never mocked anything like that again. I just went on with my life normally and focused on positive things. Have you ever had any experience with sleep paralysis or anything supernatural? Tell us here in the comments. Who knows, your story might appear in the next videos.